Hey, yo, it's four young kings just sitting and chilling because we rather count money instead of your opinions.
Welcome to Your Opinion Don't Count, where any and everything goes, and I will be doing the intros from here on out.
Tito! It's TJ.
It's currently original.
It's Dito.
It's Adam, the host, the
So he just dubbed himself
Get
the
the
host.
fuck out of here, bro. That nigga say he the host.
No.
He said hosting.
No.
Oh, you better get hoisted out of this.
So recently there is a pastor. I don't know where this pastor is, but the pastor dies and can only be resurrected when given enough money. Motherfucker, show this video. Show this video, because this is ridiculous.
Glory to God. Jesus has put money in this earth. I'm just putting it away. I ain't said a word. I ain't said a word. You see what happens when you pray God? When you see what happens when you pray God? When you see what happens when you pray God?
Ridiculous.
Enough money.
Enough money. This person is pretending to be dead, and there's people putting money on her. This is a lady on her belly. You gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that shit is ridiculous.
Wow.
It is ridiculous.
Dollars.
Hold on. So, this money ain't going to the church. It's her money? This money for her? Or?
I mean,
More than likely, she getting a
Hold
cut.
on, but she moved her head. Stop.
No, she's coming back to life.
Yeah, as more money adding, she you know
Beep,
like when you're in the hospital and the little beepers go.
Yeah.
They shock you.
Hold on, but
You know?
y'all didn't see the gal who bust the strip club move, you know, when you're in the strip club, you ain't got enough money, you slide that dollar bill over to you, you pick it up and you reuse. She recycled that dollar. I
Somebody
saw it.
recycled money on her?
She recycled it.
Hey,
Do they confirm if she really dead or not?
That pastor
Of
probably
course
was
not.
a stripper before.
So hold on.
Oh wow.
How stupid can people be?
People can be really stupid and gullible. You remember that dude
So-
who make the people drink the Kool-Aid because they thought the comet was gonna take them to heaven?
The what?
Yeah, but this was like in the 90s. Homeboy,
Drank Kool-Aid, literal Kool-Aid?
they call it drinking the Kool-Aid. He had something where it killed you inside the Kool-Aid. Everybody else drank it except for him. And they thought, because it was when Halley's comet was coming, and when the comet, there's like you gotta drink it when the comet passed by, otherwise you could miss the ship to go to heaven. Yeah, people just believe a lot of shit, bro.
So he was poisoning these people.
Them
Yeah.
niggas should
Well,
be, them niggas
they
should sell life
poisoned their
insurance.
self because
Alright.
they had to choose to drink it.
So this pastor. So I guess there's not more of this clip. I'm assuming she forewarned these people that I'm about to die. She knew the moment of her death.
I guess so, because in these prosperity gospel churches, they as prophets.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
speak to-
the prophet.
Yeah, she's a prophet, so I know I'm
Slash
gonna die.
pastor, slash deacon, slash...
The churches where you walk up to the front and everyone they touch get a freaking seizure and fall out.
Yeah,
So,
I've been to a few of those.
so do we know if she ever was resurrected? Or everyone leave the church and she's still dead and then she just roll over and
you
collect the
see her
money?
head start moving. I think she was resurrected.
Yo, you know what they need to You know what'd be so funny, bro? If a nigga like me is in the church and she do that, and then everything goes silent, I'd be like, get your ass up, yo.
Wait. Someone just need to walk over and go to slap the shit out of her. I bet you she wake up quick.
Nah, but that's a problem with a lot of these like prosperity gospel type churches where they get you to believe in you got to give money and stuff to them and things like that. Nah, me as a Christian, and I do believe that if you're going to a good church, you should donate, and obviously you got to do research about the church and everything like that. But when you give into the church does help the community. Like there's a church when we was in Savannah, I went to this church and like every month they did a drive to help the people in the community. Like they did stuff to help when it was back to school. There's given to the kids, so the kids in the poor community could have books, bags, clothes, all that stuff to go to school. And the same thing with food. Like they did a food drive every month. Try to give as much food as we could possibly. But you got these things like this video where they just trying to get money, like the Joel Osteens of the world and stuff like
It's
that.
kind of like them TV church, yeah. Like I was watching this thing one Sunday. This is a long time ago. But homie was like, you gotta, I can't remember the word he used, but he was like, you gotta give $1,000, and God is gonna, you're gonna reap your benefits 10 times, bro. I'm not sending nobody $1,000.
Bro, I know like the videos you're talking about, and I remember one day it's like, oh, we got this holy water for you, and all it costs for you is to give, this much to get this holy
donation.
water.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like really?
And then they be telling you how much people just donated. This guy just donated $5,000. You sent $5,000 to somebody.
I ain't gonna lie. They make me want to start a church though.
Bruh,
Bank.
y'all bugging? Y'all
Yes,
see Nike? Y'all see
yeah.
Nike get the holy water shoes, the Jesus shoes?
With the holy water from the Jordan
River,
inside
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, bro, you
nigga.
didn't see that? Inside the pump in the front, they got holy water from the Nile. Or
Yeah,
from
bro.
the Jordan, sorry, River
Nah, I
Jordan.
ain't
All
see
of
that.
this is holy water.
Wow. Holy water is glow. All right.
Holy
Dog.
water, man.
I know, bro. I know.
So do
I just said-
angels.
I just said.
Angels got that little glow on them, so that holy water better be glowing somewhat.
So to what extent is it okay for a pastor to flash? Like, all right, so right.
Zero.
Let me know when I say
Oh,
flash. Let me
I'm
take that.
trying to understand what you mean.
All right, is it wrong for a pastor to have money to be rich?
No, of course not. How he gets it is another thing, because I mean, in the Bible, I mean,
So how else would he get it? Tell me how
Hold on,
else would
hold
he
on.
get it? Because if you was a full-time pastor, you on
Hold
TV, right? How do
hold
you?
on. I
Nigga,
can
go to
tell you-
work Monday. That's what?
I can tell you, because you got
Well, that's his job.
in the Old Testament, you had Solomon, who's supposed to be
Hold on, let me just disclaim. I ain't with them. I just trying to understand.
right. He is the richest man in the world, supposed to be the richest man that ever lived, right? King Solomon. And estimates of his wealth, all the estimates still have him as number one with the amount of stuff he had, right?
All right.
But he's a man of God. God blessed him. And
Was
all
he a
of this stuff.
pastor?
Was he? No, he wasn't a pastor.
All right. So if you
hold
was
on.
good,
He
if you was
acquired
a
this
rich
wealth
man that is
somewhere
go to
else.
church, that's fine.
Hold on.
He talking about the man who preaching.
Hold on. Now the man who preaching, Paul, he was a preacher. Now Paul wasn't rich by any means.
Paul was broke.
He's
He's middle class.
He had enough to take care of himself. But Paul traveled from area
Alright,
to area
so-
in the Bible. Hold on.
He not no fucking jet like Creflo Dollar.
But Paul also worked. Anywhere he went, like churches tried to give him money. And he's like, no, use that to help your poor, right? He had a job in which he worked. He built tents. Wherever
Alright.
he went, he built tents. So in that same way, churches today, like you have, like, mind you, I don't agree at all with what Creflo Dollar does in terms of what he preaches, but Creflo Dollar doesn't collect a big salary from his church. Creflo Dollar makes a lot of his money from his books that he sells.
All right. So you.
So in that he's an author and he sells books.
Let me
know what I
understand
mean?
some of your points. First off, Solomon is not a pastor. He's a king.
He's a king.
He could be rich. I have no problem with that.
Alright.
That analogy or whatever
like
that
most,
was.
like
that-
most kings are.
Yeah, that could be pushed aside. As far as Creflo Dollar, you don't agree with his teachings, his preachings, whatever it is you
Right.
want to call it, but you're okay with the way he makes his money because it's not.
It's not from the church.
All right, now let's go back to a dude named Joel Osteen.
I
Bro,
don't
that
know.
man, you see
Well,
his church?
Yeah, I see his church, but
He
also,
owned that, that's like his
Yeah.
personal property.
Yeah, but he also has like an exorbitant he gets an exorbitant paycheck from the church. He makes a lot of money from his books and stuff as well because he writes a shit ton of books.
Yeah.
But he also gets an exorbitant amount of money as a salary. Same thing with the Joyce Meyer.
Is there a figure out there? Do we know that there's a figure out there?
I've seen ranging figures, but all of them are 7 digits.
No,
For
them
Joel
people,
Osteen?
They
Yeah.
make some money, boy.
From church?
Yeah.
Rico.
Hold on, just
we
for the
could do
record,
it.
right?
I be the Pope
so
in your
check
church?
this,
You
check
Why
just
this,
be
not?
the pastor?
I
Hold on,
wouldn't
hold
feel
on.
bad at one
Joel
bit.
Osteen,
You-
the big building that he built for his church, right?
The one he wouldn't let nobody in when the
Yeah.
hurricane was there.
Yeah, he got a loan for $120 million for that.
As of 2019, Joel Osteen's net worth is reported to be $50 million. So
But his
A pastor.
his
I don't. And see, I don't.
I
think
don't
a pastor,
understand it either, bro.
I don't know. I'm not saying that I don't understand it. I don't feel that a pastor should not be able to become rich, but like Dito's saying, and I don't know none of these dudes' money or how they just come up with their money or nothing like that. But according to what you saying, right, that Creflo Dollar doesn't make. Obviously, every priest, pastor, or whatever gets some level of paycheck from being a pastor because they gotta live, especially if that's your job. Like you don't have a Monday to Friday.
I don't know what his salary is from the church now, but there was a time that I did listen to Creflo Dollar, right? And
So why you don't listen to him no more?
because I listen to what he teach and I actually read the Bible. So
Oh, he ain't pass out and ask you for no money and tell you.
no.
Damn. Dito
No.
say, well, I listen to what he preach, but the difference between me and this nigga is I actually read the Bible.
Right, and so the thing is like I said, I used to listen to them, and then as time went on, I listened to more and more of what he said.
Right.
And the thing is a lot of people, they just listen to what the pastor say and they don't read for themselves. But even when the Bible itself say, study to show thyself approved.
I mean, that's the same thing with terms and agreements. You know?
Yeah.
I won't tell you
Major
this.
facts.
Yeah. So I mean, the
Okay,
thing is anybody could tell you anything. What they reading from this book and they telling you what it say, but you ain't reading for yourself, so they could tell you anything. You know what I mean?
Understood.
So anyway, at that time, I was in the mindset.
You was misled.
No. I was saying I was in the mindset at the time when I listened to him. Well, before I started listening to him, because I didn't listen to him before that, because I knew his name from a long time ago, and his name was Creflo Dollar. One, I thought that was like a nickname, right? I didn't realize that was his actual name. I was like, by a pastor named Creflo Dollar. Like, that sounded like a pimp to me, right?
He do sound like a pimp.
Right? So I was like, all right, why I gonna listen to this dude? He got all this money and stuff like that. But I was under the notion that a pastor shouldn't be rich. But as me reading, I came to the conclusion it's okay for a pastor to be rich.
All right, so let's talk.
As long as he's not getting rich from the church, because the church is there to help people, right?
Yeah.
So at the time when I looked it up,
You just don't want him in the offering basket.
right. At the time when I looked it up, I think his salary for the church for the year was like $70,000. I mean, to me that
I want to
that's
be a
not,
pastor too. Then
to me, that
70 and odd.
that ain't bad, because you gotta prepare for all these things and stuff. Like, it ain't just the sermon on Sunday. You know what I mean? He still have to run other things for the church, make sure bills paid and stuff like that. And like the church, and depending on the size of the church, as the church get bigger, you also have people you have to hire for these things. You know what I mean?
All right.
So in that sense, I was like $70,000, like, dying that bad, But if he is making $200,000, $300,000, I'd be like,
You know what? And I ain't trying to knock nobody making a good living for themselves. Even if you was a pastor, I don't think you should. You have to be like.
I think a pastor should be poor.
Nah, that ain't fair. So you feel
Yeah.
he doing the work of God,
on.
and or supposedly, because I ain't saying all of them doing it, but if you're doing the work of God, right? You feel that he should be poor? I don't feel he should be poor. I feel he should live a okay life. I don't feel you should be flying jets or nothing.
No, I feel like all his needs, should be covered for by the church. But as far as the amount of money they have, and they ask so much of people who actually don't have money, like disposable money to
drop
give
this
out.
money in the bin.
With
Yeah.
all
So
how much money? Millions of dollars? 50 million?
Creflo Dollar say.
That's
God-
Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen, 50
Creflo
million,
Dollar
bro.
Creflo Dollar say God wanted them to have a private jet.
he did say
Yeah,
that.
He said that.
Nigga
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
that, bro.
Oh, all right, so let's.
that's the shit
So,
I'm talking about.
Bars.
Like,
all
Nigga
right.
spit that like
when he
bars,
was
bro.
alive, right? And I think
Man,
he,
who was
he-
alive?
He pretty well. Hold on. He pretty well internationally
You
known.
talking
But
about Miles Monroe?
how you feel about him?
I actually saw Miles Monroe speak. Yeah, he in the same boat. Creflo Dollar, Joel.
he had a
Osteen, all
jet
of
too,
that.
right?
Yeah,
He
he had a
got a-
jet.
You
Yeah.
said
He
he
dying
dead,
and
See
right?
that big ass house he have?
These people have pissed me off.
So, but I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that he's requests, and of course this is hearsay. I heard he requests of people who are parishioners in his church to hand over deeds to their house.
I don't know how true that is. but
Large
if he
sums
did
of
that,
money
like,
to
that's,
be.
That's messed up. I mean, but and this way,
But how could you be that stupid if someone was to tell you hand over the deed to your house to be a part of my?
But and see this the thing where I talk about people talking about giving to the church and stuff like that, and you have these pastors saying, "Oh, give this much or whatever," right? In the Bible it says, you're supposed to tithe, right? Now in the Old Testament it was a reason for that. A tithe was a tenth, and you're supposed to give a tenth of your first whatever it was,
Right.
because it wasn't actual like money how we have now. They had crops, flipping cattle and all of that type of stuff, and
Like how expensive, man. I can't give you a tenth of
and
my
a
cow.
and a tithe was actually like a tax to help the nation as a whole. But people don't go back and read and understand that, right? But even so, it's still carried on throughout the generations for even after the nation got set
So
up and
tithing
stuff.
is not in the New Testament, as you're saying.
No, giving is in the New
Oh,
Testament.
okay,
right?
hold on. But so why do churches still? They one moment they want to say, well, that's Old Testament. We don't live by the Old Testament. But then you want to tell me to tithe.
Hold on, because the thing is this.
You want me to give or you want me to
Hold
tithe?
on. This is where people get mixed up, and this is where they call it tithes and offerings and stuff like that. And Jesus said, "Mate, give of a free heart." So it ain't a matter of
Yeah, but you go to these
how
church, you go to these churches to these people who say they read the Bible, right? And they won't tell you to tithe.
Exactly, and this is my point, is that if you go to a church where they actually teach the Bible, you will see that they have an offering basket. Yes, it is for you to give, but they're not telling you to tithe, that you should give a tenth.
I've been to a church or two that talked about tithing.
Yes, and this is where I say if you go to a church where they actually preach the Bible, when you go to churches where you hear them talking about tithing, they probably don't read the Bible and completely understand. When you go and you understand everything and why it was for that.
All right, so whether it be tithing or offering, can you see why a lot of people don't like to go to church? Period.
Or certain churches.
But it makes people shy away from church on the whole because, you go to some church and they be like, yeah, give if you can, but we got these. Why are you telling me about bills, bro? I mean,
My old lady and my sister they've been to a church last Sunday, I think. And when I was in the car with my mom, we went to get food, and she's like, "Yeah, me and your sister been to this church, yada yada." She's like, "I don't like it," and I was like, "What?" Because my mom is like a big Christian. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you saying I don't like church. Like I don't like that church. I gotta know why.
It's got to be something there.
So she's like, yeah, because when it come down to the offering, the way they pressure you to give money, like the way they was like, oh, if you, like, it's consequences if you don't give money, like, you know what I mean? And to
Right.
hear that from her, I was like, God damn, like it was that bad, like.
It's a lot of churches out there, like, they make you
They-
feel
Yeah, bro.
shunned if you
So-
don't give.
They are, but they also preach you a feel good message. It ain't like it ain't going there and
From
telling
the Bible, motivational.
they take quotes from the Bible and they don't expound on everything around it, because everything, if you read something out of context, you could completely miss what it means. But if I preach you a sermon, right, like one thing I always hear people talk about, life and death and the power of the tongue, right? I sure y'all heard that before, right?
Yeah.
But and
I
so
think there is some power in the tongue, though.
hold on. But this is people, when people take that, they talk
Not
about
that kind of power, you go. What are you talking about?
Bum eating power.
but people take that and they run with it, that you could speak things into existence and all of this type of stuff, right? But if you go and read that passage, right, and you understand what it says, you understand that it's talking about building somebody up or breaking them down, speaking about somebody. So like if you come and talk to me and say, yo, I just meet this nigga Rico, what Rico dealing with and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I tell you, yeah, but don't mess with that dude Rico. Like what I telling you completely could influence how you view him. But then I could also say, yeah, but he trustworthy and stuff like that. So it's, again, reading stuff in the context. But a lot of these churches, they just go and they speak stuff about They try to make you feel good. That you walk out of the church, you feel good for a moment. A couple hours later, that feel good moment wear off, and it's like, eh.
All right, so
I feel as go ahead.
go ahead. No, you say.
I feel as though these preachers who making all this money could give, because that's their main point is to give to like the poor and stuff. Like they could give millions of dollars to, know what I mean? I need 2 mics.
Nah.
Know what I mean?
Nah.
2
Say what you
mics.
saying.
Anyway, I feel like they could give a very large sum of their money to good cause and still make it back. Like come on, bro. Like y'all millionaires. Like y'all could honestly live like the middle class, and y'all making all this money. If y'all truly about helping people, know what I mean? I ain't saying give people lump sums of money, but like give your money into the community, bro. You got rappers who come from the ghetto, right?
Akon, fucking.
And as soon as they make a couple dollars, they give in for what their cost was. They're like, oh, when I make it out, I gonna give to this. Know what I mean?
Right now, yeah, like Akon do anything in Africa, building houses and electricity and stuff.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Like,
Like these pastors, they about, oh God, and you gotta do this and do that, and they just sitting in their mansion, holding all their money in their bank account.
Chilling.
But that's why I'm saying like it ain't all, because you have like Dave Ramsey, right? Dave Ramsey, he's a pastor in his church. He's not the head pastor, but he's a pastor in his church. But he's a man that we know that talks about money. And if you read any of his books or hear him talk about it, but he always talks about but he's a Christian. He talks about, giving and worshiping God first and all of that, right?
I think I heard him talk about tithing too.
Yeah, he talks about tithing. He says he gives a tenth. And that's for him, that's fine. I mean, he's in that position.
So you
right?
saying tithing ain't an inaccurate thing? It's just when a church tells you that you must tithe.
Yes, it's not
Yeah,
required.
yeah.
It's not required, right? He feels an obligation that he gives a tenth. But then again, his estimated net worth is $200+ million.
Mm-hmm.
But so for him, he says whatever it is he makes, first things first, goes to God. 10% goes to
million?
God. Yeah,
That's
his
200
net
grand,
worth.
right? Oh, that's 2 million.
What?
That's 200 grand?
No,
A tenth? As 10% is a tenth.
Yeah, a tenth is 20 million.
Yeah, 20 million. 20 million, yeah.
But he worth 200 million?
Yes.
From
Yeah.
what?
He
mean
used
from
to he used to do real estate and stuff. He has one of the
He
biggest.
teaches people how to get out of debt, and
He has
he
a
teaches financial.
He's not a pastor,
University.
basically.
He's a
not
pastor of his church, but he doesn't make.
he's
his
not the
money.
head
Yeah,
pastor, right?
yeah.
He doesn't
he
make
has a
money
job.
from being a pastor.
He has a thing called Financial
Don't-
Peace University.
Don't
He
kill
writes
this nigga.
books.
Don't,
He has-
you ready to
he
fire,
does-
you ready to fire away.
You could catch him on
He ain't
AM.
want me catching.
No, I talking about like listen to him, bro. He good. He really good, bro. You need to listen to
Yeah,
him.
but he helps people to become wealthy. He has made the most millionaires in America.
I don't like doing this or
Right.
whatever, but 540 AM is the channel, the AM station 540. He on there. Listen to that, bro.
And
And
he
the
has-
lotto did.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
has made a
shit.
lot of millionaires, right? Just from people listening to him and following what he says. But even with him, he makes this much money, right? But he also gives away a lot too. He gives away millions of dollars a year for helping people. You know what I mean? So even though he is worth this much, and he talks about it, he says he needs to be a good steward over what he has, doesn't mean that he should live like a pauper. He should be able to enjoy what God has blessed him with. But
What's a
a
pauper?
poor person, bro.
Okay. A pauper.
That's a,
Anyway,
that's how
pauper.
these rich niggas is talk, bro.
Pauper.
So
Get away
so,
from me, you pauper.
So even though
That's the first time I've heard that.
he makes all this
Me
money.
too, bro.
He makes
That's
all
why I
this
had
money.
to inform us because we was lost. All three of us was lost.
He makes all his money, but he takes a lot of money and he donates it because he feels that is what he needs to do. And on his show, if you listen to his show all the time, like he does a 3-hour show every day, he gives away stuff for free every day. And you will hear him talk about giving away stuff, helping people, paying for their.
So, right? Watch
Right.
this.
Uh-huh.
I broke, right? I broke.
Uh-huh.
But even when I was broke, I don't get.
When you was, you still broke. You just said you broke.
yeah. I still
Can't be
broke.
confusing people like that.
Yeah, alright. I ain't got. I might have millions in my bank account, but y'all never know. But know what I mean? When I was broke, right?
Well, let me $10.
I give all my money one time
Uh-huh.
to this homeless guy.
Okay.
So these guys with all this money
Yeah.
who got this secure financial plan to make more money. Why they just don't give all their money away, or like half of it, or like 75% of it,
'Cause that ain't
and
wise.
then when they can make it back, it ain't wise. But I mean,
because also, you know, with him follow, you know, he's a Christian and he got all his principles from reading the book of Proverbs, and it talks about, but you still gotta be wise with what you do. Like, just because you have it don't mean you give it away willy-nilly, and just because you have it don't mean you save all of it. It's a balance to it all. You know, you work hard, so you should be able to use some of the money what you have, right?
no, definitely use it, definitely.
Right. But
I ain't saying, bro. I mean, with the amount of money we talking about, bro, like these guys could have a good life.
You just trying to say they can give out help to the world's problem.
But that's so much.
On 10% of it.
But that's so much of the problem when people hear these numbers of what these people have, right? Like, you hear Jeff Bezos is worth $150 billion. Jeff
don't
Bezos
have
don't have $1
$150
billion in cash.
Cash.
You don't know that.
His new name is Darth Bezos, bro.
Darth Bezos. So listen, you don't know that he don't have $1 billion in cash. You don't know that.
But majority of his net worth is in Amazon shares.
Yeah, but you don't know that. You don't know that he doesn't have $1 billion in cash.
Okay, he probably.
You would assume that.
I assume he probably doesn't have $1 billion in cash.
He can. It's possible, bro.
It's possible.
If you worth $150 billion, you don't have one in cash.
What do you need one in cash for? What do you need? Any
It might be in a bank, but he can get it liquid cash right now.
No, I'm saying I'm going to assume that he doesn't have it in his bank account. Because what
I find that to be absurd.
I say 100 million, because what could you do with 100 million? What could you do with $1 billion in cash that you can't do with 100 million when you're worth 150? Because whatever he needs, he could go to any bank, anywhere in the world, say, yo, I need $5 billion. That bank will sign that
That's a
check.
loan. That's
Yes.
a loan. He don't need to take a loan. Listen, so people who hit the lotto for 300, 400, 500 million dollars, they have $500 million after the taxes or whatever. They have that in their bank account, bro. I'm sure he has $1 billion in his bank account, bro.
Actually, if they hit the lotto for 500 million, no, they're probably walking away with
No,
too
all
much.
right. I was saying that if they walked away
Taxes
with
can
500,
take that much?
yeah, taxes take a ton. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the tithing thing, because you say if you
Right.
go to a church that talks about tithing, right? You know, probably they haven't read the Bible. I actually went to a church that actually spoke about tithing. I like the church. I ain't calling no names or whatever. You might know the church, but I'm not going to put them on blast. But they used to pass around a basket. And it always felt, they talked about the bill, because the church pretty big. And I kind of was like, yeah, you know, you do have to consider that they have bills, right? They have to keep the lights on. You come to church every week. You don't get no money. The building's big. How they going to pay these light bills and stuff, right? I understand that money has to come in.
Right.
They do a lot for the community that they are in.
Okay.
And I know this for a fact. But they talked about tithing. I think that the pastor there is very well versed on the Bible. I don't believe that he isn't. But at the same time, you're saying, from your view, most people like that may not be that well versed in the Bible.
In what tithing actually is. I mean, you could be versed.
Well, I think
know?
he clearly knows. He actually brought Dave Ramsey to that church to speak to people, because he did a month session on managing the monster, and the monster is money.
Okay.
Because most people's big, you know, I think it's the number one cause for divorce in the world is money.
Yeah.
And you know,
Well,
he's
in America.
yeah, and he's a pastor. He wanted to bring divorce rates down, so
Right.
he was speaking of money. They used to pass the basket around, and he always talked about bills and stuff that the church have and how much money they spend on outreach and all of that stuff. And I always felt pressured. Then you know what I noticed that he did? He took the baskets away. He never passed around a basket anymore. He said on exit they had little booths.
Right.
You can either drop money in there or go online and make your offering.
Right.
But it's to reduce the pressure. So when you said that, I felt like, I don't know if I feel the same way, I think he understands what tithing is, but he says he tithes also.
Okay.
He
Well,
takes 10%.
well,
of
what
his-
people don't understand is tithe literally means tenth.
Tenth,
Like that's
right.
the
Right.
translation.
And I want to say that I can't remember what the sermon was about, but I think he explained that. But he encouraged everyone to tithe. He was like, "This is what God would want of you, is to tithe." Now he lives very moderately. Like if you see him, dude, he wearing some old cowboy boots. It looked like he recycled
Right.
the same shirt. Like guaranteed, you go there for 2 months, you're gonna see at least one of the same shirts over. He wears some washout black jeans. Like so, I don't think he absorbing a lot of money from. I think he takes a check because he works. That's his job,
Yeah.
Monday to Friday. But I think he lives a moderate life.
That's fine.
And he also says that like he feels that the tithing is what brings him back the blessings of his life or his giving. So I don't know. I just saying to speak on your thing about tithing. I don't
Yeah, but
think
but
that that's
but what I'm
necessary.
saying is tithing isn't mandatory in the church. When tithing was spoke about in the Old Testament, it was for the nation of Israel. It wasn't for a church. It was the nation had to tithe.
All right.
So it was given to the because it was a form of tax.
All right, so then,
So-
so what you basically saying is that these churches need to stop with preaching that
like-
we
Yeah,
must
no,
tithe.
No, now it is saying that you should give to the church.
Yeah,
that's why
but
you hear them say tithes and
they
offerings.
be like, well, you must tithe. A lot of people just
Exactly.
push that on you. Bro.
Yeah, a lot of people do push that on you. I know you don't. It's not a mandate that you must tithe, but people, when they get to a certain point, like Dave Ramsey, he has enough that for him, giving a tenth is he gives more than a tenth, but he feels that he should at least give a tenth for him.
Right.
I'm not saying that if you feel you should give a tenth, like that's wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying it's not mandated because Jesus himself said, "Give with a cheerful heart." You know, like give as you feel like giving. I mean, that's basically what it is.
My thoughts about the whole thing in collectively is just that I feel if you go to a church, I understand that they have bills and stuff, but we should give what we are able to, because not to say that I may want to give 10%, I may want to give more, but my financial state in life may not allow me to, so I might have to consider my bills first. Not to say that but I don't want the blessings or I'm being selfish or anything like that, but some people have to look at the fact of reality. You can't go to your rent place and tell them, or your mortgage company and tell them that, hey, yo, tithing had to come first, bro, so I little short on the money.
But see,
I was tithing, bro.
this
So
also
you
the
could
thing.
tithe 10% off of this thing for me?
So, but this also the thing. This is why it's not mandated, because even in the New Testament, right? Jesus says that, like, you have a family, right?
Right.
And just say you tithe every week to your church,
Right.
and because you felt you had to tithe, but for whatever reason things got tough and bills tightening up or whatever, and if you tithe, you won't be able to make paying your bills and stuff like that, right? So now you give into the church to neglect your family, right? Right?
I following you. I'm following.
So Jesus said, but as a husband, your first mandate is to take care of your family. If you don't protect and take care of your family, you're worse than an infidel.
All right, so basically
So-
what you're saying is tithing is like the money you, or offerings is the money you have after your bills, because your bills is your taxes. You dig what I'm saying? So like you pay your bills and stuff first. The money you have left is like you already been taxed. Now you can from that.
You
And
need
you
to
pay
take care.
10%.
You need to
Right,
take
then
care of
you-
your. You need to take care of your family, right? And when it gets,
Hey,
to,
but tithing of tax breaks.
I believe they do actually.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Start tithing.
Yeah, because it's considered given to charity, because church is a 50c3 organization. It's a
So
nonprofit.
so if I
organization.
tithe, I gotta get a receipt.
You could see it on your, like, if you do it from your.
Hey,
If you do
Hey.
it from
Everybody
your,
these real questions.
if you do
though.
it from your bank account,
Imagine.
hey, could we tie to YODC and have it as a non-profit, and he just get tax write-offs?
But
through
that's we
But
get
then
profits.
We
Yeah.
I want profits. They don't want non-profit.
That's gonna be profits. nigga.
All right. So, but anyway, so let's that we could hold the rest of that religious stuff for another day, because that
Yeah.
could go on and on. But
It could.
since we're talking about big money and all of this, right? this guy, George Zimmerman, is deciding that he's going to sue Trayvon Martin's family for $100 million in damages. And it's not just his family, it's also his lawyers, the book company that we made a book. Show the clip. It's a clip of it, not a video or anything of that nature. It's a clip.
And an article.
And an article. And what else you want me to put? A link? How else you want me to call it?
Yeah.
A photo?
All of the above.
Great.
Bruh.
So, go ahead, man. Anybody chime in on this for me?
This shit
make me angry.
This shit is...
Get angry, babe.
This shit is ridiculous, bro. This nigga George Zimmerman
needs to be shot on sight. I won't be doing the shooting. I'm just saying.
Shit, you give me a fucking badass rifle and 50 cal.
I really...
Zoom with all the clicks and all the shit. I'd bust his shit right off his head.
I really don't understand.
And tell him it was self-defense. He was offending me from all the way over there.
Trayvon Martin, daddy. I don't know his name. I can't. Is it Tracy? I think it's Tracy Martin.
Sure.
Whatever.
I ain't sure what his name is.
I don't understand. That's a good man, bro. Because that man have so much self-control to not look for this man and just try to kill him. Because
Wait, you want to think that nigga been through that like the first week or month?
Yeah, but to have that self-control to have not done anything, mate, it takes a lot. And now you got the audacity
Ord could take
to come talk about you trying to sue me.
Yo,
Ord could take a wife.
But
Really, son, now you
he's
trying to
suing
sue
for
him?
defamation.
That's crazy.
I
Niggas cold out here, you know, bro.
he about to be cold.
I have a
Oh,
very
nice.
different view on this.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Go
Let's
ahead.
hear this
All
shit.
Right?
This
So-
is the guy that
Let's
thinks-
hear this shit.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, let's.
So, though my feelings about George Zimmerman is one thing, based on everything that's happening, I think it's fucked up for him to sue, right?
So how's that different feelings?
Hold on,
You're confusing me.
because I think he can claim defamation, and the reason being is that wasn't he acquitted on the charges?
Yeah, he was
so,
acquitted.
so he was not found guilty,
No.
right? He was found innocent since he was acquitted.
Here we go with this
So-
U.S. law bullshit.
No, I want to hear this. I
But
wanna hear it.
so my thing is we live in a country that you're innocent until proven guilty. They didn't prove him guilty, but yet they came out with a book saying things he did that he was not found guilty of. That is the legal definition of defamation. Though based on the case and everything, I still believe that he's guilty. I don't see an issue here. Because he wasn't found guilty. If you were on trial, whether you're innocent or guilty of a trial, and somebody comes out and says you're not guilty, the jury comes out and say you're not guilty, and somebody coming out there still claiming that you're guilty, right? What it is?
Show the viewers, man. What is it? What is it?
No, I can't show this one. I can't show it.
Man,
But listen,
I don't
all
know.
right, so
So I mean, again my view on George Zimmerman, based on me watching the case and everything and stuff like that, right? I think he probably, I mean, the way in which it's down, he is probably at fault.
okay,
You,
all right.
but
So,
the
in
thing
my-
is
in
with
my
you, the
opinion-
thing is with you though is you always just come at stuff from that technical standpoint.
But-
Technically,
But it
That's
ain't
what the
that
law.
ain't-
That's what
that
the
ain't
law
even-
gonna do, though.
That
All
ain't
right,
even
so
a technical
let's-
standpoint.
let's-
That's exactly what.
let's step away
that's-
from.
but he ain't gonna win the case. Though.
No, I said I think it's fucked up that he's suing. I don't think he'll win, but I do think he has a ground to do it.
Okay, hold on. So let's step away from the technicality or whatever. Let's just address what you're saying, right? So you think he has a ground to sue, but do I not, as the family of speaking from Trayvon Martin's parents, do I not have the right to write a book from my standpoint of what happened?
If in the book you're saying stuff that was already refuted by the court, that's defamation. Like if you're saying that.
How's that defamation?
on.
I feel you
Hold-
murdered my child.
Hold on.
So do people not still think
Hold-
that OJ murdered
Hold on.
homegirl?
Yes.
What the homegirl name was?
Yeah, I remember right off the top.
The white girl.
Nicole.
Nicole, yes.
Yes, people still think that, and if OJ wanted to, if somebody came out with a book saying it, me saying, hey, yeah, I think OJ did it or whatever, if he wanted to, he could come after me, but it probably is a waste of his time. You know, if I'm out there spewing, yeah, OJ killed this person, you know what I mean? But in here, they made a book. They wrote a book in which was sold, in which they profited from it, in which they are saying that it was his intent to go out and kill their son.
It was.
Again, that is your opinion, but he's...
What do you mean? The cops told him not to follow this kid. Why did you follow? You had intention.
Hold on. Again, he was acquitted of that in whether or not
By a lot of white people.
it doesn't matter
Bro,
who
this shit
did it.
fucking-
Right? The point is he was acquitted of it in the court of law, and because of that, for you to come out and say something different, that slanders a person's name, whether or not he did it or didn't do it, right? Whether or not he did it maliciously or did it on accident or whatever the case is, we do know that he killed Trayvon Martin. But now you applying intent as to why it happened, even though the court already acquitted of him, that is slander,
All right,
and
well,
he has rights
well,
to...
you assuming that that's what they said in the book. Did you read the book? Do you know that that's
no,
what was
that's
said?
that's what I'm reading from this article.
So for you to come out and have an opinion on a situation, it's slander.
What? No, you writing a book is slander. Me saying my opinion out there is also slander, depending in the way that it's being said.
So-
if I'm saying somebody did something,
And George Zimmerman could sue these nuts.
yeah. If I say
Yeah.
if I say this
probably
person,
can.
right?
The
If I
way
said
Dito talking.
if I said Adam killed somebody, right?
All right.
And I say, yo, I think Adam killed somebody. That's two different things. Me saying you did something.
Well, we don't
is,
think he killed him. We know he killed him.
Yeah. Again, it's not a direct quote.
So let's go off of the no.
So-
Let's go off of the no.
So if you're going off of this George Zimmerman case, for me to say, hey, I think he maliciously went after my son and killed him, versus he maliciously went after my son and killed
Well,
him.
I don't think the
that's-
cops told him not to follow. We know the
That-
cops told him not
yeah.
to follow.
Again,
Why
none
did you
of-
follow the kid?
again, my point is none of that matters because he was acquitted in the court of law.
Anyway, well, I don't have much on this topic other than that motherfucker George Zimmerman is a motherfucker. I mean,
that's what I don't get.
I mean,
bro.
that's
what I don't get.
Like
Yeah.
he fucked up on different levels, bro. Like
He is fucked up.
Like
defamation.
and
They ruining his image or some shit.
But see,
fuck
but
outta
again,
here, man.
again, see,
Like-
see, the thing is with that is that if we could go down this road with him, just because we don't like this person, what happens when it comes down to if I got to go through this and I'm actually
this ain't
innocent?
because I don't like him. I don't like his actions or what he did.
Okay,
And then you
Yeah,
know what, you
Tito.
know what even makes it worse about George Zimmerman? After that, he tried to sell the gun that he killed him with as a trophy. Then hold on, he threatened a dude online and say, "Don't fuck with me. You done seen what I did to Trayvon."
Okay, and I understand that all of that is fucked up. I completely understand that. I don't disagree with that. I do think
So if you
George,
didn't murder
hold
the
on,
kid, right?
Hold on. I do think George Zimmerman did it. I do think that he did it maliciously. I do think that he went after him after the cops said not to. I do think all of those things. Those are my thoughts and my opinions. But I'm going with the facts of the situation is that he was acquitted in the court of law. And so if I'm in his situation and I'm acquitted in the court of law and somebody thinks I did something and they write a book about me saying I did something that I didn't do, even when the court say that I'm free, yes, I'm going to want to sue them too. You understand? And I want to be able to
So they
have
don't
the-
have freedom of speech.
Hold
They
on.
can't say they're part of it. They can't say their
they
piece.
do, but they made money
there's
off of it. Is what
again
he's saying.
having freedom of speech. There are also things with having freedom of speech that you're not allowed to do, like libel and slander, and yelling fire in a crowded theater because it incites a riot. If there's no fire,
What riot, boy? Ain't nobody care about George Zimmerman.
no, I understand.
Oh, yelling bomb in the airport.
No, I just gave you 3 examples: slander, libel, and yelling fire in a crowded theater are
We ain't
caveats.
slandering
Are
what we know.
Are caveats to the First
There ain't no
Amendment.
slander. Everyone know he's a murderer.
It is slander if he's been acquitted, bro. That's the problem.
So we could do this to OJ all day, but we can't do this to George Zimmerman.
Nah,
Nope.
and then you said something just now about you actually being innocent. You say if it happened to you or some shit like that.
I'm saying if I'm in a situation in which I go to court, right? I know I'm innocent, or even if I'm guilty, right? But the court says, yo, we don't find him guilty. He's innocent. I get to walk out there a free man, and whatever I was in court for, people write a book about me, make money off of this book, saying that I did something, right? Not saying they think I did it, because saying they think I did it is an opinion.
Right.
Saying I did something is making a definitive statement, right? So if you say I did something, that is slander.
America's stupid, bro.
The whole problem in this whole situation is the court system, because he's supposed to be arrested and he's supposed to get life in jail. That didn't happen. And had that happened,
Yeah, justice was not served.
Had that happened, this issue now wouldn't have arisen.
You're right.
And they could have the money they made from the book and everything. You know what I mean? Is all fair game. Like, the court system is known for a lot of fucked up shit.
Right, they failed his family, so why is his family not entitled to go and speak their piece?
So if anything, Trayvon Martin family need to sue the Supreme Court.
All right, so so OJ was
Yeah.
released from he was acquitted, he was released. He's a free man until he screwed up and did the other stuff, right? And now he's free. Do you know that OJ Simpson lost a civil case to this and he still pays the family? They should be suing this dude. He killed the kid,
yes,
bro.
and there's a difference between a criminal case and a civil case. There's a lot less evidence you need in a civil case versus a criminal case. In a criminal case, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. If any one of the 12 jurors in a criminal case has a reasonable doubt, they cannot convict them.
Yeah.
It has to be a unanimous decision.
I just
That's
feel
that's the problem. Like, that's the problem. Do I think
the jury was probably unanimously white.
it doesn't matter, bro?
It does matter.
Again, none of that. What I'm saying
Trayvon
is,
didn't have a fair trial.
What I'm saying is none of that matters because he was acquitted, right? Whether the court system is fucked up, which in some instances I agree it is, some instances I don't think it's fucked up. Some instances the police system is fucked up. Some instances it's not. Some instances all of these things are fucked up. We don't live in a perfect world.
All right, I know that.
And in this isn't a perfect situation. I believe I was there. Me and you was there. We watched the court case.
Yeah.
Me and you was watching it. I thought he should have been locked up. I think that he's guilty. These are my thoughts.
All right, so
But
I'm glad you said that.
Based on the situation, I don't see an issue with what's happening.
I wanted to ask a question before, and since you already answered a part of my question is, do you think that he's guilty? You agree that he's guilty. So how do you feel?
I believe that he is guilty.
How do you feel about gas stations across the nation? Not all of them do it, but I've seen it a lot. Ever since that case, there's a lot of gas stations on their front door when you walk in has a no hoodies sign. So you gotta take off your hoodies. What do you think inside of that?
What do I think incited that?
Yeah, why? Ever since he's been,
maybe that was the case.
so they feel that because he was wearing a hoodie that he's wrong, he's bad, he's done something criminal. Why? Oh, okay. So nothing happened at the gas station. Why are we not wearing hoodie? Why can't we wear a hoodie in a gas station?
I don't know why we can't wear hoodies. Hold on. Why we can't wear hoodies in the gas station? Because one, it's private property, and regardless of what you want to do, if somebody says something on their private property, you have to abide by that.
I didn't say that we don't have to abide by it, or
It's
why do we have to abide by it?
yeah.
I understand that it's private property and they are allowed to do that.
Right.
But why are we all of a sudden it's an issue to wear a hoodie in a gas station?
Okay, one, I would have, with this case or not, I would have had a problem with people if I owned a gas station and I'm running it, people wearing hoodies.
But you racist, boy.
That is not racist. I don't care if you white, black, or purple, bro.
So
I don't want you walking into
purple. That purple was racist too.
this is our last topic
hold
for
on.
this for this
Yeah,
segment.
yeah.
This
So-
shit
so
is ridiculous.
I'd have an issue with anybody coming in covered up and I can't see who you are. My cameras can't see who you are, just in case something happens, bro.
Okay. All right.
That's me personally.
All right. Now you say the private property, whatever the case, right? So tell me why the police get to have super dark tints on their car, but I can't have super dark tints on my
I
car.
think that's a parental law, and I don't think it should be in place.
What is the parental law?
A parental law is something
Because there
that
ain't no police is my parents.
no, a parental law is a law in place that is there to protect you just because I say so, like wearing your seatbelt.
Right, because for all we know, the officer in there running lines of coke all day off his computer.
I understand.
And we can't
So-
lock him up though.
Yeah, we can't do
So
nothing about that.
so this is my
So-
point. That's why I think it's
That's
a
why they got body
that's,
cam.
that's why I think it's a parental law. Same thing. Same thing.
That they don't know how to work.
Yeah.
Like I understand having speed limits, but getting a ticket for going faster than the speed limit is a parental law, because you can go faster than the speed limit without harming anybody, right?
Yeah, because they saying, let me give you this ticket because you could have caused an accident.
Exactly.
See, I did have two views on that speeding thing. On a highway, you're doing 10 miles over 70, which you at 80, you're probably not. You're a lot safer. But now we saying you ride into a residential area that has a 25 mile an hour speed limit because there's kids out here, and you doing 65 miles an hour through the street. I have a problem with
Oh,
that.
that's understandable.
Of course. Again, having listen.
I feel it's in
Hold on,
certain areas
hold
that
on.
it should be
listen
enforced.
listen to what I'm saying about the speed limit, right? Is that it's one thing if I'm driving through a residential neighborhood and I'm driving 25 miles an hour, which is the speed limit, right? Actually, most is 35 miles an hour.
Right.
So I'm driving 25 miles an hour through a residential area, and a kid jumps out in front of my car, and I hit the kid, right?
You going to jail.
No, I'm not going to go to jail because I'm abiding by the speed limit. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And the
Unless
kid-
there was a crosswalk.
Unless there was a crosswalk. If the kid jumps out and I knock the kid by accident, I'm going to be fine. It would be the kid is going to have to go through.
What if that kid dies?
But even if the kid dies, I'm still in the right, right?
I think you're going to jail for manslaughter.
No, because I
For
For,
actually,
George
for
Zimmerman
actually
gets-
just,
No.
for just driving his car?
no, because we actually Uncle Planey, his stepson, right, the fireman, he told us a story about where this girl got hit on the road. She wasn't going through a crosswalk, and the guy was there upset, crying, because the woman, her brains is on the ground, like she's gonna die, and the guy was there crying. He's like, "Babe, I ain't going to jail, yada yada," and the guy was like, "Look, based on everything we're seeing, no, you're not gonna go to jail. She wasn't in the crosswalk. You were abiding by the speed limit. Everything is fine." Now, why I say it's a parental law, because I can also drive through that 35 mile an hour neighborhood at 75 miles an hour, do nothing to nobody, right? But
You could scare,
But-
you could scare the shit out of a lot of people.
yeah, but if I was to hit somebody and hurt them, I did that while breaking the law. This is when I should be severely charged.
So we wait until something happens to
Okay,
correct
but
it?
but if I hold on,
I
but
feel like that's why I'm saying if it's in residential where
So-
human life can be, because there are people walking.
On
There
the highway,
shouldn't be
human life can
yeah,
be
yeah,
killed
but
too.
I'm saying there are people walking.
okay.
They're out of their car. Not saying that a car will protect you 100%, but at the same time, it's much less likely that you're going to kill somebody doing 10 miles over on the highway
It does.
as opposed to you doing 15, 20 miles over.
Hold on.
Don't
so,
matter, don't matter,
residential.
don't
hold
matter the
on.
likely
Same scenario.
Uh-huh.
Same scenario as you just gave me.
residential neighborhood. Uh-huh.
No, or from the girl who got knocked down, the guy
Right.
who was crying, thought he
Uh-huh.
was going to jail. What if he's like smoking weed or some shit?
If they found him intoxicated, it's something illegal. So it
Then he
would-
going to jail,
Yes, because he was doing something illegal.
even if it wasn't his fault.
Huh?
It's the same scenario. It wasn't his fault.
But they can now say that, look,
They're saying
you
he's
were
driving under influence.
driving
so that
under the influence, which you possibly could have stopped and prevented this woman from
they're
getting
saying
hit.
under the speed limit, if you're sober,
Yeah, bro, these
It's less
laws and
likely.
loopholes and all of these shit.
Nah,
Technically,
that's
So
it.
this is
All that
what
bullshit.
I'm saying, right? I'm saying regardless of the situation, you put something there in place, right? That hey, we have a threshold, right? If you go above this threshold and something happens, then we prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law because you did something that harmed somebody while above that threshold. We have this threshold in place for a reason, but I don't think, hey, because I'm going above this threshold, that this person should get a ticket.
I feel that they have to keep those thresholds there and enforce them, because if you don't enforce them, people gonna just do it until something bad happens.
But check this out, right? But check this out.
That's probably
So-
why they there in the first place. 'Cause
Exactly.
some bad shit happened before.
Hold on. But if bad shit happen, the thing is right now the courts are so lenient. If you charge somebody to the fullest extent of the law, it lowers down, and you put this out there.
Lenient?
Hold on.
You ever get a ticket
Hold on.
for speeding?
Hold on. Hold
King
on.
man, I was doing. hold on. I was doing 13 miles over.
I'm not talking about a speeding ticket because I don't think you should
He
get.
said the courts are lenient. I don't think
I don't
they are
think-
lenient.
That ain't lenient, bro.
Lenient to white people,
Can I answer
not
the question?
lenient to black people.
I'm not talking about
Latino
getting
answer
a
the
speeding
question.
ticket, bro. I'm talking about if something happens. Okay, you knock somebody down while going above the speed limit in this area, then depending on what happened to the person, obviously, because if you kill them, this is
Again,
no
vehicular
hold on.
homicide.
Right. It should be homicide, no longer manslaughter, because you were breaking the law and you harmed somebody in that case.
Hey, manslaughter, you get like 5 years in jail, bro.
That's why I said it shouldn't be manslaughter.
He's saying it should be longer than that.
Right, but I'm saying that if that person is just going over the speed limit and you're giving them a ticket, you're just giving them a ticket because there's an arbitrary number in place that you feel they shouldn't go above, and because they go above this number, you decide, hey, I want to take some money from you.
I think that
Fair
our
enough.
views. I understand what he's saying, but I feel in residential areas that it should be enforced. I feel on a highway, I don't think so,
But-
because if my kid outside, I'm playing, and my kid shouldn't be in the street. But at the same time, I can understand it.
Let
I
me
think
get-
we just need to agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, we
'cause
could agree.
There
to
ain't gonna
disagree,
be
but
no.
I give you one more instance in terms of like, since you just spoke about religion and stuff like that. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, it says
Don't speed.
no, if you don't have a fence on your roof,
Why would I put a fence on my roof?
because you ever see the buildings in Jerusalem? They have flat roofs. People actually can go outside on their roofs.
Puerto Rico too, but they don't
Yeah.
have no fence on their roof.
Listen,
It's so funny,
listen,
bro.
right? So
Let this nigga talk, mate.
so the
Y'all
law
let this
is-
nigga talk.
the law is that if you don't have a fence on your roof and somebody's on your roof and they fall off and they die, you're responsible. Right?
Why take us into the show, Debbie?
Hold on. I ain't finished. But if you have a fence on your roof and somebody's on your roof and they fall off and they die, it's not your fault.
You mean a
Because-
railing?
huh?
A railing.
Sure.
Yeah,
The point is
railing.
you put something up there. You put something up there
Barricade.
to preserve life, to
Yes,
preserve people
that's
from
it.
falling off.
Yes, to protect people from
Right.
falling.
Not
So-
to preserve people from falling off, to
so-
prevent.
Yes, to prevent people from falling off. So if you didn't put it up,
He had to correct you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
fine.
you know how it is.
but the point is that if
That
you
ain't
didn't,
happened yet. That happened
if
later.
you didn't put the fence up, if you didn't put the fence, the railing, whatever you want to call it, the barrier up, you weren't charged or fined or anything for that. Right?
Now hold on, let me ask a question. Hypothetically speaking, did I allow him on my roof, or he just jumped from the next building? Because if he jumped from the next building, that's his problem, bro.
Well, if it was a barricade there, he probably
It-
wouldn't have.
He wouldn't have-
he wouldn't have-
Alright, so now
But you ain't never see Aladdin there.
nah,
Aladdin was
so-
jumping over that. He's 2 hurdles.
So
it
bring
don't matter how they got on your roof, but if you didn't have a fence up to prevent injury to somebody,
Santa
it
Claus.
was
Santa
your thing.
Claus be on that bitch.
He
So-
gets stuck.
So bring it
Magically.
back. So bring it back to the tents. What does it protect the cops from, or whoever from, if I had dark tints or not?
Again, I think that's a parental law and it shouldn't be a law.
Like
I think it's wrong. It's immoral for the government to have that law in place.
So the cops, so they protect themselves because they don't know if the guy, they walking up onto the car and the guy have a gun.
Yeah, none of that matters because when me and you get pulled over in the States, you know what they tell us? Screw down your window. Remember that? It was at
Yeah.
night. It didn't even matter if we had tints or not because it was still dark.
Yeah. They just want to
Yeah.
see if you doing drugs or,
Yeah,
or smoking weed or some shit.
Because remember when Keith was with us too, right? Keith was with us and they was
I
like,
need
yo,
darker
screw,
tints.
screw down the window. And I screw down the front window. It's like, screw down the back windows too. Screw down the back windows.
Did you have
so-
tints?
Did I have tints? No, I don't think I did.
That's the red little Beamer.
Yeah.
That had a little bit of tints on it, boy.
Yeah, but I
That's
think
them
that's
tint
fine.
was
tints
purple,
dark,
boy.
bro.
It's
Them shits
purple,
was dark,
boy.
bro.
But
Yeah.
even so,
They
it was
purple.
at night. It was at night. So I mean, it was at night. There was no lights around where we got pulled over. So
Keith, we talking about KJ?
no,
Nah,
somebody
nah,
else.
Nah. From the Keys. One of our boys from the Keys.
But you know, I mean, as far as George Zimmerman go, I gotta fuck you for that guy. Fuck you, George Zimmerman.
I got another fuck you for that guy.
Yeah. Fuck that guy, George
Your
Zimmerman. He
turn,
on
DJ.
some fuck shit. I ain't
TJ,
gonna lie.
I
Your
don't.
turn.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
my
I
take.
ain't with the bullshit, and I
Yeah,
ain't with
that's
this
some
whole
BS.
technical stuff,
Yo, but you supposed to
actual
drop yours.
factual stuff. What
It's
Dito
your turn
talking
to drop
about.
yours.
Yada yada. What you mean? Yeah, fuck George. Fuck him. Yeah,
Wait, Dito, you got one?
Need to
fuck
rock.
him. I hope I
Nah, I
see him.
don't know.
I hope I see him in the streets, bro. That's where I want to see him in them.
Nah,
I really
bro,
want to see George Zimmerman
don't
in the
like
streets,
that.
dog.
Like
This
you
is
saying?
this is the
I don't like
views
him.
and opinions of DJ.
cut
and
off
also,
cut off his bait toe. You know how we do shit now. You see what I said?
Hey, you want a short sleeve or a long sleeve? Huh?
Anyway, like you say,
Use 9 and a
I don't-
half, but not use an 8, nigga.
I don't fuck
Gotcha.
with George Zimmerman. I think he was wrong. I think he wrong in doing the suing. I think he's guilty in the original case. But with what he's doing now, I don't have an issue with it. I think it's fucked up, but legally, I don't
And
have
this
an issue with
motherfucker might write a book or some shit.
about how he's suing and he didn't win.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, Dito. Take us into the shot of the week.
it. All right.
Here's how you fuck black people over by George Zimmerman.
All right. The shot of the week this week come from a song, actually, named Haters Gonna Hate, right? Because, you know, everybody got haters in this bitch. People gonna hate, right? And so it basically saying, like, today, with all the social media stuff and things we got going on, people have their opinions. They just post it up. They may not even agree with what they saying, but they just posting shit because they hating on what you doing, right? But in the song, homeboy say, look, I could walk on water, but someone gonna tell you that's because you can't swim. But fuck all the haters. Do what you gonna do, regardless. Show them that they hating for no reason, bro. And that's it.
So basically, the shot of the week is your opinion don't count.
Bingo.
I get it. Hey, if you like that, that's cool. If you don't, that's also cool. Because at the end of the day, your opinion don't count. We out.
Don't forget to like our shit, share our shit, subscribe to our shit, because we ain't fucking around.
So much passion when you say that. Your eyes be all closed. And
Yeah,
shit.
bro. You gotta get into it.